Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Fortnite video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down for you guys 9 simple tips that will 100% help you guys play better in solo and get more solo wins. And these are going to be broken down into 3 different categories: inventory tips, fighting tips, and movement tips. Now, of course, I cover so much stuff on my channel, but this video, I've got like some of the most important stuff to be able to get more solo wins. The gameplays are going to be 2 different gameplays of just me getting like 9 kills or something like that, solo wins in season 4. Nothing super high kill like my last video, but I just want to show consistent wins and how you can get them with these tips and tricks. So if you guys could smack a like on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's go for 705 likes. If we could hit that, that would be insane. And the sub growth, I just got to thank you guys. Like, this is truly a dream come true. We're already over like 120,000 subscribers, and we hit 100k like literally a week ago. So it's absolutely truly a blessing, and I just really appreciate everyone who is new to the channel subscribing, everyone who is already subscribed supporting. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button, smack that like button, and let's get right into this. So let's start off with the inventory tips. I have 3 in each category. As far as inventory tips, I'll start off with these because they're pretty simple tips. So if you guys already know these ones, stick around because the fighting tips and the movement tips are coming up. But inventory tips, I'm going to go through them very quick because they are very simple. Solos, your inventory should look a little bit different than it will in squads or in anything else like that, for the main fact that in solos, different weapons are more prevalent. For example, snipers are the best in solo. There's a lot of people standing still in their bases in the late game, and that's why I recommend carrying some sort of, sometimes I'll go with the launcher over it, or I'll go with heals depending on the loadout. But if you have space in your loadout, you don't have to be an expert sniper to carry a sniper or a hunting rifle and shoot that at people who are standing still in their bases late game. For those long shots where, people are standing still, especially with the damage drop off changes where every weapon, or not every weapon, but the ones that you're going to be using, the rifles, the Scar, blue assault rifle, all those have a drop off at range to the damage. Sniper rifles are more prevalent than ever, and I recommend carrying one if you can in your inventory. Also, with that sniper, you want to put it next to the assault rifle. Usually I put it on my last slot so I can shoot it, and then I can right bumper over right to the gun, because you can actually go either way in your inventory. That's the first inventory tip. The next one is to carry 2 close range weapons in most situations. In this gameplay right here, I'm not doing it because I'm doing my other tip, which is to carry shields or heals. But 2 close range weapons, unless you have just insane loot like I have right here, you usually want to have either double shotgun or a shotgun into an SMG or something of that nature. I'll usually go double shotgun. Double pump is actually fairly decent at the spot the game's in right now. But of course, if you the main thing you need in solos is, this is my third inventory tip, carry shields and heals, because getting cracked once can ruin your game. Say you see a player who's not the best, you run over to him, but he gets a lucky shot on you, or maybe just a lucky headshot with an assault rifle, or a lucky shotgun body shot. That can do a bunch of damage to you, and if you kill him, if you kill a full team in squads, most likely some of them are going to have shields. If you kill one guy in solo, he might have nothing, not even bandages, and that's why I recommend carrying something in your inventory. Look at my inventory right now. I'm almost full in everything. I have 2 big potions, I have 10 minis, so of course I'm sacrificing that second close-up weapon, but that I would definitely take. Having those shields and making sure I will always be at 100 shield is prevalent. You want to carry shields because it's more likely to find bandages and medkits off of other players. That's just my tips for inventory. Next is getting to fighting tips. Fighting tips are probably the most important. If you can win 1v1 fights, you're going to have a good shot at winning the game, or at least getting late game. For fighting tips, my first tip goes as far as building. I talked about this a lot in my last video, which was sort of centered around build fights, but the tips that I have for building is you want to get high ground. You want to build for high ground. That, everyone's heard that. I have the height advantage, the high ground. I have the high ground, all that sort of stuff. It is true, but at the same time, don't get blinded by that statement. There are situations where if you are getting beat in the build fight and they're way up above you, you have 2 options. You can either build off to the side and start to build up while trying to turn and cover your back, which is risky. They can usually crack you a couple times while doing that. Or what I've been doing a lot more recently, and what I showed off in my last video, and I think I do a little bit in this video, in the second gameplay right after I get this win here, is drop down and reset. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you've lost the build fight because they might have had the early advantage on you, dropping down lower, dropping down to the ground. And one trick that I use to make people every single time, like if the build fight is going super high, you go down to the ground. All you have to do is shoot that down, and they're going to get package delivered right down to you, maybe even die from fall damage. And even if they are up high, most players will panic, and as soon as you start shooting at their base with your weapon, they will come right down to you and challenge you. That's most players who, because they're just going to get scared. Am I going to die from fall damage? They don't really know how high up they are or what the actual fall damage numbers are. That's a main tip I would say as far as build fights. Those are some tips for build fights. Next tip for, how to fight. You want a third party. What I mean by third party is you hear shots fired off, you hear two people fighting, you run over there, they're busy looking at each other, and bada bing, bada boom, you pop in and usually steal one of those kills, sometimes even steal two of them. The reasons why you want a third party is the fact is it's the easiest kills because they're not looking at you. If you can get to their locations fast, which you just have to be listening for different cues on your headset. And also, you get double the loot. Two enemies are going to die there. Whether you get both the kills, whether they kill each other, whether you steal one of the kills, two enemies are going to die there. Double the loot and easier kills. Sounds like, sign me up. Sounds like a perfect thing. And that's definitely what I would say as far as that. Third party, go for easy kills and double up the loot. My next tip here would be don't be afraid to reposition. Once they know where you're coming from, don't be lazy or overly confident and always build and reposition. Sometimes I would lose fights. I'd see a guy with no skin rush me, and I'd just say, oh, I'll just take him on the ground with a shotgun fight, and he might, get a lucky shot or a skilled shot and beat me with that. But the point is, now I'm learning, don't be lazy, man. Every single time you see someone, don't judge them based off the skin. Build every single time. And repositioning, what I mean, you should be building a ramp, usually a ramp and then a wall in front of it before you take any shot. Unless the guy's just completely free, then you can take that shot. Right there I get some shots in, but then right away, of course, I'm going to start to build up because that guy wasn't even looking at me. If they're looking at you, you need to focus on building. And as far as repositioning, what I mean by that is there's sometimes, say you're in Tilted Towers early game, you're fighting a guy, you guys are peeking the corner, on each other. He might have right hand advantage on you. You might be peeking from the left, so you have a worse angle. And in that situation, most of us would just want to, get overconfident and challenge him right there. But sometimes it is smarter to break the wall behind you, to drop down, to build up, to reposition, and wait until you like the fight. You don't have to take every fight in this game. Certain times you will have to take a fight, but there's nothing wrong with repositioning and not necessarily running away. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but backing off for a second, getting your grounds together, and then being able to fight under your terms. Next, let's go into movement tips. Movement is huge in this game. While building and fighting are huge, movement is also big. And if you get caught in the middle of people, that can, get even the best of players killed. My tips for movement is, first of all, you want to land based on what you're trying to do that game. Land based on the action and what style of solo win you're going for. And I have either high paced or fast paced, medium paced, or slow paced. For example, if you're going for high action, land Tilted Towers, land Dusty. If you're going for medium action, land somewhere like Greasy Grove, maybe Salty Springs, Pleasant Park. And if you're going for low action, there's a bunch of different spots on the map. There's the Shipping Yard, there's Junk Junction, there's Flush Factory, Lucky Landing. There's a bunch of spots for low action. That just means the game will, take longer to get going, but then you have a higher chance at the win. Of course, you have to balance out in this game action versus surviving versus killing. That's sort of something you want to do. So go into it with a game plan. What sort of game are you going to be playing? Are you going for a high kill? Set a goal before the game. That's my tip, and then move accordingly. Next, you want to catch players who are moving in slowly with the zone. A lot of casual players will land at those faraway areas, and those areas have a lot of loot. It's not just Tilted Towers that has a lot of loot. They'll be running with the zone all game, and if you play on that edge of the zone in the early to mid game, you can catch people running in who have scars and shields, and they basically did all the looting for you, and you're able to pick them off and get that. So that's definitely a movement tip for finding people mid game. You want to find the people who have all the loot, and those are sometimes the people that didn't fight as much but spent their whole game looting and farming. You can sort of kill them, outplay them, take their stuff, and use that to win the game. And my next tip is for late game. Rotate early and build a high tower. Look at this right now. I'm pretty much using my tips live right now in this game. I just third partied right there. They were fighting each other. I showed up, I killed them both, and I have the tower right up in the middle, and now I've got myself in a 1v1. Rotate early, late game. Playing around the edges is great for early to mid, but late game you want to get into the center of the safe zone and watch other people scramble and run in, as you can peek your base slightly and easily pick them off from a safe tower. You pretty much have no risk. If things get dicey, just back up into the bottom area of the stairs in your tower, and there's pretty much no way anyone can kill you unless they're above you RPGing, or if they knock down your base to fall damage, but that's why I recommend don't go too high depending on your health and how many people are left. In this situation, I'm confident going high because I know that this guy hasn't showed his face yet, and I also have 73 HP, and I know I'm not going to die from this angle. And then I finally locate this guy, get some shots down, pick up the solo win. Hopefully these tips work for you guys. These are a bunch of simple tips you can put into your game. Focus on these, and I've got way more tips and tricks videos coming. If you guys have any questions or any videos you want me to cover in the future based on tips and tricks on Fortnite, leave it down in the comment section down below. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Have a great night, and I'm out. Peace.